When the power goes out, most people have no idea what to do. Society relies on electricity for nearly everything: food, water, communication, even basic safety. Imagine a massive blackout that lasts for days, weeks, or even months. Supermarkets stripped clean in hours. ATMs useless. Your tap runs dry. Darkness envelopes your home, and worst of all, you're unprepared. This isn't just some far-fetched, apocalyptic scenario. Power grid failures happen more often than you think, and if you're not ready, survival won't be easy. This video lays out 10 essential items you need to stay alive during a power outage. No fluff, just straightforward, life-saving tools and strategies you must have. Ignore this advice and you're playing a dangerous game with your family's safety. The question isn't if the grid will fail, it's when. Will you survive when it does? The clock's already ticking. It's time to get serious, take action, and make sure you're prepared for the reality of a world without power. Your survival depends on it. 1. Water, the single most important thing you can't live without. No water? Say goodbye to survival. It doesn't matter how stocked you are on canned food or how cozy your generator-powered setup might feel. Without water, you're done in 3 days. Period. Here's why this is priority number 1. Stock up like your life depends on it. You need at least 1 gallon per person per day. That's the bare minimum. Staying hydrated isn't optional. And don't forget, you'll also need water to cook and maintain hygiene. Start storing now. Get sturdy food-grade containers, label them clearly and at the date. Don't rely on cheap plastic bottles that'll degrade or leak over time. Think long-term. Keep a stash at home, but don't stop there. Put some in your car and pack backup supplies in your grab-and-go bug-out bag. Redundancy is your friend, and having multiple sources can mean the difference between life and death when your home stash runs out or becomes compromised. Purify or perish. Just because it looks clear doesn't mean it's safe. Contaminated water can knock you out with bacteria, parasites, or chemicals. When faced with questionable water, start with the most effective purification method you have available. Boiling is your best bet if you have fuel and can set up a safe heat source. It's simple and effective, but comes with a big downside: burning through your fuel supply. Boiling isn't an option? Break out the gear. Portable water filters can get rid of a lot of the junk, but always double-check what your filter is designed to remove. For a quick and lightweight approach, iodine or purification tablets are convenient, but don't fool yourself into thinking they'll clean up everything. Chemicals and heavy metals can still slip through. Worst-case scenario? You're down to makeshift solutions. Use a combination of sand, charcoal, and cloth to build rudimentary filters. And if you're resorting to household bleach, remember this formula like your life depends on it. 8 drops per gallon of water. Mix it, wait 30 minutes, and check for a faint chlorine smell. Desperate times call for desperate measures, but don't wing it. Knowing how to purify water before a crisis can save your life. 2. Food, your fuel for surviving the chaos. Second only to water is food. Sure, hunger won't kill you as fast as dehydration, but trust me, you won't last long running on empty. Energy is survival. Without fuel, your body and mind start shutting down, leaving you weak and vulnerable when you need to focus most. Stockpile wisely, not randomly. No, this doesn't mean clearing the shelves at your local grocery store when the power goes out. Survival isn't about grabbing random canned goods in a last-minute panic. It's about methodical stockpiling ahead of time. Start now. Aim for 3 months of non-perishable, calorie-dense staples per person. Focus on multi-purpose, long-landing items like rice, beans, lentils, and peanut butter. Canned goods are lifesavers too, as they're already cooked and can be eaten cold if necessary. Think soups, stews, veggies, and meats. Avoid fussy foods that take too much effort or water to prepare. Fancy meals belong in a functioning kitchen, not a survival scenario. And here's an often overlooked tip. Flavor matters more than you think. A monotonous, bland diet can demoralize you faster than you realize. Throw in flavor boosters like spices, herbs, hot sauce, or bouillon cubes. They're lightweight, shelf-stable, and make a world of difference when every meal tastes like cardboard. Know how to cook without power. Having a pantry full of food is pointless if you don't know how to prepare it. Start now by learning to cook without your electric stovetop or microwave. Camp stoves fueled by propane are a versatile option. Just make sure you've got extra canisters stored safely. A simple fire pit can also work wonders, but you'll need fire-starting tools, dry wood, and skills to control the flame. If you're lucky enough to own a solar oven, use it. These handy devices work using nothing but sunlight and are perfect for slow-cooking meals without fuel. That being said, weather conditions can make them unreliable, so treat them as a bonus, not your main plan. And don't underestimate practice. Knowing how to whip up energy-packed meals over a campfire or a propane stove can turn you into a major asset in any survival situation. Plus, it ensures you're not wasting your precious resources fumbling through trial and error. When it comes to food and cooking during a power outage, preparation and know-how are everything. Get ready now, because when the power goes out, it's too late to start Googling recipes or figuring out how to light a fire. Point 3. Mastering fire, your survival multi-tool. Fire is more than a source of light or warmth. It's your survival Swiss Army knife. Without it, you're cold. When it's freezing, raw food becomes your diet, and water might kill you instead of quenching your thirst. Fire is non-negotiable. Why fire is essential. There's no heat to keep warm in the dead of winter without fire. No boiled water means no purification, making your survival timeline shrink to days. Cooking, forget it if you're fireless. Even your security rests on a blazing flame, keeping predators, both animal and human, in check. Gear up for flames. Don't rely on a single lighter that runs out, or a cheap box of matches that crumbles in rain. Stock up on lighters, waterproof matches, ferrocerium rods, and even magnifying glasses. Yes, you read that right. Learn to harness the sun. The more redundant your ignition options, the better. Know-how counts. Ignition tools are useless in the wrong hands. Practice fire making long before the power goes out. Learn to spot and prepare good tinder like dry leaves, pine needles, or even cotton balls drenched in petroleum jelly. Understand how to build a structure using tinder, kindling, and fuel wood. And by the way, good luck starting a fire in high winds or pouring rain if you haven't mastered these skills already. Efficiency fuels survival. Fuel is finite, so make every log count. Rocket stoves burn minimal wood while maximizing heat. Solar ovens, while slower, can do the job without wasting an ounce of fuel. If you're careless, finicky fires will burn through resources faster than you think. Keep it low-key. Here's the harsh reality. Fire draws attention. While you're cooking dinner, others might see your flame as their lifeline, and they might not care if it's yours. Use your fire wisely, and consider ways to conceal it, like using a Dakota fire pit or building it in an enclosed space. Fire is your lifeline, but like any tool, it's only as good as your ability to wield it. Learn these skills now. Wait, and you're gambling with your life. Point 4. Shelter, your first defense against nature. You might think staying inside your home during a power outage means you're fine. Not always. Homes are great, but they're not a foolproof shelter when conditions turn extreme. Whether it's freezing winters or blistering summers, having a solid shelter plan is the difference between surviving and rolling the dice. What makes a good shelter? A tarp can be worth more than its weight in gold. Lightweight and versatile, it can be configured into countless setups like lean-tos or A-frames for protection against rain and wind. Tents offer better coverage but aren't the most portable option. Without either, get creative with what you've got. Doors, spare wood, even bed frames can become improvised protection. Insulation is mandatory. If you're stuck in a cold environment, shelter alone won't save you. Insulation becomes your primary concern. Layered clothing is step 1, but don't stop there. Stuff dry leaves, newspapers, or even spare blankets inside outerwear to trap body heat. It's not about fashion here, it's about function. Stay cool when it counts. Hot climates bring the opposite challenge. No power means no air conditioning, and staying cool becomes urgent. Focus on shade, airflow, and hydration. Use tarps to block the sun and create cross-ventilation. Avoid enclosed spaces that trap heat unless you're looking to turn yourself into jerky. Think beyond 4 walls. Sometimes you'll need to think outside the literal box. Being stuck in a collapsing house during a storm is as deadly as not having shelter. Know your area's risks. Earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes? Prep your shelter plan accordingly. Strong structures like basements or storm shelters need to factor into your strategy. Stay dry, stay alive. Here's an undeniable truth. Wet equals dead. Wet clothes sap heat faster than you can produce it. Wet shelter destroys insulation. Always prioritize waterproofing your shelter. Use tarps, garbage bags, or even duct tape if it comes down to it. But don't ignore this. Staying dry is survival 101. When you have shelter, you have a base. It's not a vacation home. It's what keeps you functional. Shelter isn't about comfort, it's about staying alive when the elements want you gone. Whatever you do, don't underestimate it. 5. Light that doesn't quit. When the grid shuts down, light instantly becomes a priority. Without it, even the simplest tasks turn into a guessing game. If you think you can get by with a dim flashlight and some half-dead batteries, think again. You need reliable, long-lasting light sources to stay functional and safe in the dark. Start with LED flashlights. They're energy efficient and brighter than their bulkier counterparts. But don't just stash one and think you're covered. Have multiple flashlights ready to go, and more importantly, keep extra batteries. No one wants to fumble around in the dark when their trusty light dies on day one. Headlamps are another non-negotiable. They free up your hands so you can actually work while staying well lit. Whether you're repairing something in pitch black or rummaging for supplies, a headlamp makes it possible without holding a flashlight in your teeth. For backup, invest in glow sticks. They might seem minimal, but they're cheap, lightweight, and ready to use in seconds. Plus, their dim light won't broadcast your location if you're trying to stay low-key. Red light options are even better. Not only do they preserve your night vision, but they're subtle enough not to draw attention. For long-term scenarios, solar lanterns are a no-brainer. No batteries? No problem. These lanterns charge by day and light up your space by night. They're durable and reliable, especially when you need hands-free ambient light. Planning is key when it comes to light. One flashlight isn't enough. Load up on multiple light sources, batteries, and solar chargers. When darkness hits, scrambling for a light will be the last thing you want to deal with. Be prepared or be left stumbling. 6. Portable power equals survival. Without power, your connection to the outside world and your ability to function takes a massive hit. Forget about the luxury of charging your phone or running a laptop. Power outages leave critical gaps in communication and medical necessities, which could quickly spiral into life-threatening situations. Having backup power isn't just handy, it's essential. Start with power banks. They might not power your fridge, but they'll keep your phone alive for days. Choose high-capacity models capable of multiple charges. Always keep them charged and ready to go. These small devices can keep you connected to loved ones, emergency updates, or GPS when you need it most. Hand-crank generators are another must-have. Yes, they take effort, but that's a small price to pay for reliable power. These devices can keep radios, small lights, or even basic medical equipment running. And because you're the power source, you're not limited by electricity or sunlight. Portable solar panels are the next level of preparedness. They can charge phones, radios, laptops, and even small appliances. Investing in a decent set could mean keeping a mini fridge running for your medications or maintaining a steady supply of fresh battery power. Unlike traditional generators, they're silent and recharge as long as the sun is out. Don't underestimate the practicality of these options. Even in minor outages, these tools make a world of difference. When systems collapse, power equals survival. It's as simple as that. Without it, you're cut off and vulnerable. Stock up now or regret it later when you're facing the silence alone. 7. First aid is non-negotiable. When disaster strikes, medical facilities might not be accessible, or worse, they could be overwhelmed. Your best chance of survival isn't a hospital. It's whatever first aid system you've built for yourself. If you think a box of Band-Aids and some expired painkillers will cut it, you're sorely mistaken. Start by building an actual first aid kit. That means quality bandages, gauze pads, medical tape, and antibiotic ointment. Have pain relievers on hand, like ibuprofen or acetaminophen, because dealing with untreated pain during a crisis can cripple you. Anti-diarrheal medication is essential too. Dehydration from diarrhea kills faster than you think. Don't forget oral rehydration salts. They're simple, cheap, and could save your life if dehydration becomes a problem. But having supplies isn't enough. You need skills. Learn how to stop excessive bleeding. That could be the difference between life and death. Know how to splint a fracture without making things worse. You also better know how to clean a wound properly, or you're inviting infection, which can spiral quickly in a crisis situation. Buy a basic first aid manual. No, watching a YouTube video once doesn't count. When you're out of options, that manual will act as your lifeline, guiding you step by step. If someone around you gets injured, you need a plan that doesn't rely on an ambulance showing up. Think of first aid like your personal survival toolkit. If you can't stabilize injuries or manage simple illnesses, you're done. Get the supplies, learn the skills, and commit to being self-reliant before disaster hits. 8. Hygiene isn't optional. Here's a blunt truth no one wants to talk about. In a power outage, poor hygiene will kill you as surely as starvation. Disease spreads faster in unsanitary conditions, and even something as mundane as not washing your hands can knock you out of commission. It starts with supplies. Stockpile soap. Lots of it. Hand sanitizer is also a must, especially when water is limited. Toilet paper and wet wipes might sound like luxuries now, but you'll regret skimping on them when you miss the bare essentials of cleanliness. Don't forget about feminine hygiene products if they apply to you or anyone in your household. Sanitation is key. That flush toilet you take for granted won't work if the water system collapses. You'll need to set up a backup, like a composting toilet or a simple bucket toilet. It doesn't need to be fancy, but it does need to work. Properly disposing of waste is non-negotiable. Mismanagement of waste means disease, and a massive outbreak isn't just your problem. It puts everyone around you at risk, too. And hygiene isn't only about avoiding sickness. Washing your hands after handling waste, food, or wounds is critical. Wash them often and thoroughly. It's not just about you. It's about preventing the spread of anything harmful to others in your group. Treat it like a rule, not a suggestion. Power outages can drag on longer than anyone anticipates. Without proper hygiene practices, the environment around you will quickly deteriorate into a breeding ground for bacteria and viruses. It's not glamorous, but staying alive rarely is. Plan your hygiene strategy now or suffer the consequences later. 9. Survival skills are non-negotiable. You can have the best tools money can buy, but if you don't know how to use them, they're worthless. Survival isn't about what you own, it's about what you know. Adding new skills to your repertoire is as essential as stockpiling food and water. Because tools break, supplies run out, but skills stick with you. Start with bushcraft basics. Learn to tie knots that hold under pressure. Practice building fires without matches so you can stay warm and cook when lighters fail. Know how to purify water in multiple ways, from boiling to using improvised filters. Water that looks clean can still kill you, and treating it properly should be second nature. Food is another big hurdle. Study how to identify edible plants in your area before disaster strikes. Dig into foraging books specific to your region and understand what's safe and what's not. You make the wrong call on a wild berry, and it could be your last. Navigation skills are massively underrated. If technology fails, you'll need old-fashioned methods like reading a map and compass or navigating by the stars. Practice these in a controlled environment. Don't wait until you're lost to figure it out. Then, there's the matter of self-defense. This might be uncomfortable, but it's necessary. A power outage often brings out the worst in people. Learn some basic techniques to protect yourself and the people you care about. Whether it's hand-to-hand combat or understanding how to use self-defense tools, knowing how to protect your resources might save your life. The key here is action. Reading books and watching survival videos is a good start, but it's practice that makes the difference. Get outside, test yourself in different scenarios, and build confidence in your abilities. Skills don't just make life more manageable during a crisis, they make it survivable. Mental fortitude and community are your hidden superpowers. If survival kits and skills keep your body alive, mental resilience and community keep your mind intact. A long-term power outage isn't just physically draining, it's mentally punishing. If you crack under pressure or isolate yourself, you're already on a losing path. First, mindset matters. You have to stay calm no matter how bad things get. Panic leads to terrible decisions, and terrible decisions can lead to disaster. Remind yourself of what you can control and focus on that. Take things one step at a time, and never lose sight of the fact that things will improve. Hope may sound cliché, but without it, you'll falter. Building a network before disaster strikes is a survival game changer. It's easy to think you can tough it out alone, but the reality is much harsher. A support system makes you stronger. Find like-minded people now. Share knowledge, pool skills, and cover for each other's weaknesses. Whether it's family, friends, or trusted neighbors, a community can make or break your survival efforts. Don't underestimate morale. This isn't just about staying alive, it's about staying sane. Pack simple morale boosters, like a deck of cards, books, or even a harmonica. Small comforts can provide a massive lift when everything else feels bleak. Laughter, music, and shared stories are tools just as important as a water filter or a flashlight. They don't just keep you emotionally stable, but they also bring groups together and strengthen bonds. The mental challenges of long-term outages are real. Boredom, despair, and conflict can tear apart even the best prepared plans. But if you cultivate mental resilience and lean on your community, you'll outlast the chaos and come out stronger on the other side. Surviving isn't just physical, it's mental and social too. Your skills and mindset can't be purchased or improvised in the middle of an emergency. They take time and effort to build. Start now, because when the grid goes down, it's too late to learn. Every skill mastered and every meaningful connection made today gives you a better chance of standing strong tomorrow. Don't wait. Prepare your mind, sharpen your skills, and build your community while you can still afford to.